Hello, good evening to one and all. Greetings from SUGHYD. Today's event focuses on Sitecore Content Hub, where mastering the custom definitions to entity management, which is the speakers are like Divya and Shrikant, and hosted by Yamini and Vishal. Over to you, Divya and Shrikant. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen.
Yamini, meanwhile, Divya is sharing her screen. Okay. We will not be able to keep the whole demo. It's like organization restriction. So what we have done, we have added all the screenshot in the PPT itself. Okay. Like whatever we
Okay.
are going to screen here.
Sorry, last statement I couldn't hear. Sorry.
Yeah. So we have added all the screenshot in the PPT itself. Okay. And during our explanation, we will show that.
Okay, no worries. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for joining our session today, and a special thanks to the organizers for putting this event together. So in today's session, we are going to discuss a core concept related to entity definition and custom definition, covering everything from creation to managing entities within the system. So let me start with our introduction first. My name is Divya and I'm a Sitecore developer at EPAM System with over 5 years of experience in implementing Sitecore products across various domains. I'm an active contributor to the Sitecore community and I maintain my own technical blog where I share my practical use cases and insights on my site getsitecoreskills.com. And if you would like to connect with me, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. Over to you, Shikha.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I would like to thank everyone to joining this session. Okay. So I'm working as a senior Sitecore developer at EPAM Systems. So almost I'm having 9 years of experience, mostly in Sitecore. I've worked on various projects like Exam Cloud, then uh, SXA, Headless, and then XP. So I was awarded Sitecore Technology MVP for this year. I'm certified in all Sitecore products. Then along with that, I'm actively contributing to the community through my blogs. And if you want to connect with me, you can easily connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you. Divya, can you go forward to the next slide? Yeah. So for this session, our today's agenda is we will be giving a short overview of what Sitecore Content Hub DAM module is. We will mostly focus on digital asset management module. Then we will be defining what definitions are in terms of Sitecore Content Hub. Okay, and what roles they play. Third one is we will try to understand, okay, what custom definitions are, and here particularly we will be giving a particular use case for better understanding. Then we will be discussing how we can create the custom definitions, then how we can create new entities from the new custom definitions. Then we will also try to display whatever the new entities are created from this custom definition, how we can show them on our required pages. And here, what specifically we will be using the out-of-box component what Sitecore Content Hub provides. Then after that, we will see how we can extend the existing schema by introducing our new definitions and how we can associate them with the existing entities we are already having m.asset entities, okay, which is mostly used in Sitecore Content Hub. If anyone has seen the Content Hub portal, so we will be try to understand what is the relationship and how we can establish a one. And last one is we will also try to show you sometimes we have requirements to add particular things which is not provided with the help of out-of-box component. So how we can achieve those things also with the help of using external components. Yeah, next slide. Yes, yeah. So in terms of Sitecore Content Hub DAM module, okay, as we all know, DAM stand for digital asset management. For every organization, we have digital assets, but sometimes it happens to manage them. If your organization is distributed, okay, and we are having various departments and other things, okay. So in those scenarios, managing digital assets is quite a tricky, and and if your organization is using lots of digital asset uh, modules, correct? Digital asset things you can give example of YouTube, or like we are having images. Okay, in terms of images only, we are having multiple versions, correct? Like we have WebP images, we have JPEG images, and many more. So managing all those things, like it's always a headache. So Sitecore Content Hub DAM module, like it gives the benefit, like you can manage it centralized. And even though if you are having multiple uh, departments, okay, which are distributed all over the globe, you can create a centralized repository, and you can where you can upload all your entities, like everything in Content Hub is entities. So you can upload there and you can manage it centrally. Second one is like one another benefit is like uh, auto tagging of the assets, like whatever assets we are uploading. In those scenarios, like we can use the machine learning algorithms out of box provided by Content Hub. Okay, so in those scenarios, like for example, if you are having one image, okay, so we can ask the machine learning algorithm to tag it like what kind of image it is, and that feature is already available to us. Third one is like even though we are uploading all the images, videos, YouTube's, everything, okay, in those scenarios also, in even though it's a centralized repository, still we have to manage it, correct? Like we can place it, like every department will have their own folders and all those things. So in those scenarios, like how we can quickly access those, okay, just consider like if we are having 2,000, 3,000 of assets, okay, finding a particular asset can be painful. So in those scenarios, like Content Hub provide its out-of-box feature like full text search. Then you can also use facet-based search. You can create your own query builder to query particular assets, okay, and you can easily get those results. Fourth feature is like we are having a digital rights management functionality also. So this is basically, for example, as I told you, correct, a organization can have departments all over the world. Okay, so if we want something like that, like a particular asset, it should only get downloaded. Like if you are giving the preview link or something, it should only get downloaded in the European region. So in those scenarios, we will be managing the access right. Okay, so this is done with the help of this thing, that even though your authors will be having the access, but if the region is not matching, you will not be able to download it. So we can do all those tasks using digital right management functionality. Then real time we can have the assets link. Okay, so we will be having public links which you can uh, uh, connect to any other headless CMS. Okay, you can manage your assets in Content Hub DAM module, and you can pass those public links to your even the Sitecore also we can consider. Okay, so from Sitecore also we can easily consume it. Then another one very good feature is real-time image editing. Okay, so one feature is there of media processing. Okay, whenever any asset or something is uploaded during the entities, okay, entities creation for that particular asset. Okay, so we can create a workflow. For example, if I am having a JPEG image, so we are having one module media processing in Content Hub. In that, if we define the workflow, like I need a PNG version of that JPEG image, so we can do that also. So whenever your asset is getting uploaded, at the same time, a different rendition will be created with that required format. Then another very good feature is like versioning. So we all know, like we are working with Sitecore, so we all know like how important versioning is. Okay, so this also you will be getting the functionality out of box. Then we are having like workflows similar to Sitecore. Like workflow plays a very important role. Your asset will grow through various workflows like create, then edit, and then the final workflow. Okay, where then only that can be used in production live environment. So we have that feature also. Then you can before editing also, for images and videos asset, you can get preview link URL, so you can verify whether everything is working fine before approving it. Then we get batch operations in Sitecore Content Hub. We have that upload functionality. So if you are having thousands of assets also, so you can add everything in your Excel file, and you can just upload that thing. So yeah, Sitecore Content Hub will automatically take care of your entity creation from that data. The only thing which we have to consider during this operation is like we have to fill the required fields. Okay, so every schema or every entity will have some required fields, so we have to fill it, and then accordingly your entities will be created. Then this thing is like you will be getting intelligent dashboard also, like as it is giving operations like batch operations uploading. So you have the inbuilt out of box component for checking the logs. Okay, raw logs you can check if anything is getting filled, so you can get all those things also. Divya, can you move on to next slide, please? Yeah. So now like understanding definitions in Sitecore Content Hub. Okay. So as per like Content Hub documentation, it is clearly telling like an entity definition is a part of schema that defines how type of entity structure. Okay. So every schema like it is combination of multiple entities, entity definition. Like for example, sometime it provides out of box only, like we are having m.file entity definition, then we are having m.asset entity definitions. So these are already provided, and like we will see also like how we can create our own custom definition and how we can place those things in schema. In normal terms, like if I tell correct, so just consider entity definition is kind of a blueprint or template how we are having in Sitecore. Okay, like in Sitecore we create templates, then based upon that templates we create the items which tells us like okay what kind of data it will hold. So an entity definition is something similar to like that only. Okay, so our template we have like properties, fields, correct, we can give a title and we can define like what kind of field it is. Similarly, and in entity in terms of Sitecore Content Hub, whenever we are defining an entity, we are creating a new entity definition, or if you check the old entity definition also, we will be having some descriptive properties, we will be having some relationship like taxonomies, or we will be having option list. Okay, so these are various type of I can say attributes of field which we can add in the entity definition. Okay, then it's like, so user can create and modify this definition. Okay, according to the business specific need, we can create an or we can create a new field, or we can create a new whole entity definition, which we are going to see in our future slides. So we can create all those things also. Then they also support versioning. Okay, and like versioning or lifecycle management is there for a better control. Like you can create a multiple version of a particular definition, okay, entity definition. So it helps to better organize the particular definition. Then we are having like, so whatever we are created, correct. So we can, if you want to check, okay, whether it is getting, whether it has created properly or not. So in the manage page in Sitecore Content Hub, we have entity definition. We can, in the manage page, just we need to go to schema, and the schema will list down all the entity definition what we are having. So you can select your own custom one, or you can select the out of box entity definition which is there, and you can check okay what type of fields and properties are there. Divya, can you go to next slide, please? Yeah. So in this our this meeting is mostly focused on like how we can create a custom definition. Okay, and we will see like with a practical use case. So imagine a scenario we are having. Okay, like we are having one organization is there. Okay, and they are they want to create a marketing campaign. Okay, and in that marketing campaign they want to list multiple assets to it. Okay, so in this scenario, like if we see, okay, how we can do it in Content Hub. So any any out of box we can out of box component we can use it, which we will see. Okay, like in the next future slide, which we will see. But sometimes there are requirements, correct? Like if I want, like in the same detail page, we need to create some page in Sitecore Content Hub where we need to show all those details. In those detail, like for example, our marketing campaign is this field: campaign name, start date, end date, location, marketing assets, and campaign status active. So if you see like this campaign can have marketing assets. Marketing assets means like we can have multiple assets as assets or images associated with a particular campaign. So if we have a requirement to show all those things in particular page which we are created in Content Hub, so sometimes out of box component will not help you. Okay. So how we can tackle all those things, which Divya will explain in the future slide. So our mostly main focus is like how we can use our custom definition with the out of box component in Content Hub, and how we can extend it to show the fields which is directly we are not getting in out of box component. Okay, and that we will be achieving using external component. Hopefully this use case is like clear to you, as like our mostly the other slides will be focused on this part only. So if you have any doubt, like you can just let us know. I think we are good. Any doubt is there, you can just ping us in the chat also. Like we will try to see like whoever is giving this session, like another person can reply on that thing. Okay. Over to Divya. Yeah.
Yep. So now Shrikant has provided, a short overview of DEM module and Sitecore Content Hub, including information about creating entity definition and custom definition. So let's focus on our session case, which is creating and managing marketing campaigns, let's say for a product launch. So I'm going to walk you through the process of creating custom definition in Sitecore Content Hub. So on a screen, you will see a few simple steps to follow for creating custom definition based on the requirements from the clients or business. So I will guide you through these steps one by one using the screenshot to help you visualize the process and which will make it easier for you to understand. So to create a custom definition that meets our business need, first we have to log in into the Sitecore Content Hub instance. And once you are logged in there, you have to navigate to the manage page. And from there, like you have to search for the schema page. And in the schema page, you will see the definitions, all the definitions in one place, which is including the system and the custom definitions. So let's move it. So yeah. So once you log in into Sitecore Content Hub, you will see this manage page, and then you will search for the schema. You select the schema, and then the schema page will look like this, right? So here you could see in my instance, for example, 68 items are there, which means there are 68 entity definition already created or exist. So to give you an idea of how these definitions are structured, let's have a look at asset definition. Okay, so here you can see that MSET has this structures, which is comprises of group members and these group members have some member properties over here. So here I have selected overview group member, which has these properties like file name, title, description, and these are the simple string type properties. And while asset type to asset and localization to assets are the relation, and relationship is also like mentioned here. So now let's go back to the schema page. Yeah, so on the right hand side, you will see a button which is labeled as new definition. And we will go ahead and click on that. So once you will click on this, a pop-up will appear right here, in which you need to provide the name of your definition. So for my use case, I have named it marketing campaign, and we will go ahead and click on create. So once you click on create, you will see it will redirect you to a definition detail page where you will see an option on the left side to add a new group for your definitions. And once you click on a new group, this pop-up will be appear, which will ask you some simple information like the name of your group and the label. And then just you have to save this information. So once you have given this, like I have given the core details to the member group name. So here I have already added properties and one relationship. Depending on your requirement, how you want to structure your entity, you can separate properties and relationship into different member groups. And to add any members, you need to like click on the new member option on the right side, which will allow you to add a new members to the member groups. And so this is the completed structure for my new definition, or you could say a data model for my use case. Now I'm going to show you a way to create, how contributors or other users can create entities using these definitions for a purpose. So now, yeah. So now our internal or out of the box components will come into play. How we can use them to create new entities using your created definition. So I have outlined this process in a few simple steps. Like I'm going to create a marketing campaign page and a sub page for adding the components, which will allow us to add the entities. So let's say I have created one page with marketing name and a sub page new marketing campaign. And on the marketing campaign page, I'm going to add a creation component and I will make it visible. And for the button, I have given some custom label, which you can also create using the translation. And in the creation component, once like you open it, you have to select an option in the settings, which will allow creation component to create a new entities. And you have to choose your marketing, like there are sources which you have to choose. So I have chosen like marketing campaign definition, and similarly given some custom label to the button. And then let's see this all in action. Let me go back. Yeah. So in the new marketing campaign detail, I'm going to add the entity details component, and we'll see all these configuration in the next slides. So here, like you go to your manage page, select the pages, and in pages you will see there is an option to add your own pages. So I have clicked on this add sign, and a pop-up will appear where I have given a page name like marketing campaigns, and its parent is the home page. I have left all the other information as it is, like page type to blank and using the master layout as basic. So once this is done, a marketing campaign page you could see like being created here. And then I'm going to add a new subpage over here. So I clicked on here, and once you click on adding a new subpage, or another new pop-up will ask you for which the parent will be your previous page, from where like you have clicked to create a new subpage. And here I have given the page name as new marketing campaign, and the rest information is same, like page type is blank and the master layout is the basic one. So then you go ahead and save this information. Now, so once like you will navigate to your marketing campaign page, you are going to see this basic layout. And in the main zone, I'm just going to add the creation component, which I discussed. So once you click on this component, it will show you all the list of available out-of-box component by the Sitecore Content Hub. So you could see in the search selection, I have given creation, and I have selected this component, and I have added. Once like you click on the add option, it will ask you for the component setting, like the title and whether you want to make it visible on the page or not. So for now, like title, I have keep it as it is, the creation, and you could make it visible so that it can work on your page. Once you save it, you could see on the marketing page, the component has been added, which is set to visible on your page. Now you have to like click on your creation components. If you see, there are like in this general, like it's asking, what button label you want to give. There are like two options to choose: button label type as custom or default. So for now, like I've chosen the custom one. And once like you click here, either you can choose existing translation from the Sitecore Content Hub, or you could create your own one. So I've just created one custom over here using the translation, and I have enabled the new entities toggle here. So once, if you will not enable it, you could not see these options available. Once you enable, it will ask you for the other configuration. So here it will ask you, creation settings. So it will ask you for the detail page, like wait, once this component will go to like which page, and from there it is going to read the components. So I have provided new marketing campaign over here, and a window type I have chosen the large model. And once like your entity being created by this component, to which page you want to redirect it, I have mentioned the same page, which is marketing campaign. So once you have set all these values, you are going to save and close your this component. So all the settings for the creation component has been done. Once this part is finished, you are going to your subpage, which was new marketing campaign. And again, this has the same layout, the header zone, left and right, and then the main zone. So in the main zone, again, you like I have clicked on the component, which will show me all the list of the out of box component by Sitecore Content Hub. Here in the search selection, I have given entity, and I'm going to click on the entity details. So the selection has been done, and I have added this component. In the settings, I have just pre-selected and title I have given only, and I have made this component as visible. So once I did this, you could see on your new marketing campaign, this entity detail component has been added. So once this is done, we will also set the configuration for this sim page. Similarly, we did for the creation component. So for the first time, when you will click on your entity detail page, it will show you something like this, that there are no members to show, and it will ask you to configure a valid source definitions. So like you have to click on settings, or directly you can go from here. So Yeah, so here in the source, I have chosen like definition. So in definition, you have to select your definition. So marketing campaign was the definition which we created, right, with few properties and one relation. So I've selected this definition and I have, save and close this. Now I will go back again to members. Earlier it was not showing me anything. Like as you could see in the first screenshot, it's saying no members to show. And now since the settings, I have given a valid source of definition. Now I could see all the members that are being set up in this marketing campaign. So in here, once like you go to member, you could see a core detail member group is there. So I will like enable this and it will ask me again, few settings for this component. If you want to change the label or some positions, or if you want to hide this group label name. So if I will not hide it, it will be show me the core details on the model pop-up. So such like um you can enable these settings. And in the members, also depend on us, like if I want to show all these members which are imported from the our definition, so and making them all editable, because I want users to add this information while creating the entities using this definition. So once this is also done, we are going to save and close this component. So our creation component and entity details component page, these has been added over here. So now let's create the entities with it. So for now, you could see the new marketing campaign has this component, entity details, and the marketing campaigns page has this creation component. So you could directly go from here in the pages also, or you can directly navigate through the navigation if you provide this in the Sitecore Content Hub. So I will click on this view page, and once you go there, it will show you this marketing campaign page, which has this button over here, which is coming from the creation component. And I have added one custom label to it, like adding new marketing campaign. So now user can add their own marketing campaign from here. So once like you will click on this component, it will take you to the entity details component. Like this type of model pop-up will come up, and here I have given, some campaign name, let's say test SUG marketing campaign. I have given some start date and end date and the location, in which location this marketing campaign is going to active. And once like you click on this marketing asset, for now I've selected some car variant over here, and you could search and save this. So such like this information is going to look like on your model pop-up. Then you can simply save it. So the save operation will create the entities, but for now on this page, like once you created this, you could not see anything. So which means our entity is created or not. Let's see. Let's find out. So I will go back to again to my manage page. And over here, I will click on entities. Entities basically shows us all the entities that have been created by, the different definitions. If you select, let's say, MSET in your entities, it will show you all the entities of MSET type. So I want to check, if there is any entity being created using my custom definition. So in entities, I'm going to like search marketing campaign. So this definition is highlighting. I'm going to like select this one, and it will prompt me to marketing campaign entities detail page, which will show me exactly like there are 16 being created, and the one this recent one is created. So I will just go to view the detail of this entity, and you could see this has been created in the system with the same campaign name, the start date, the location, and this is a boolean value which is showing like we have been selected this value, and the exact asset type that this asset we have chosen while creating this entity. So now let's understand how we can display, when we create any entity using any definition. So in this, a very important component comes into a play, which is the search component. So we are going to like add this component, and there are like few configurations and setups that we have to enable to make it display. It's ask us few configurations and how, we want output of the entities to be displayed on the page, and we'll see all this in the action. Right. So in here on the marketing campaign page, I want all the entities to be displayed. So I'm going to add my search component on the marketing campaigns. So just below the creation component in the main zone, I'm going to click, and in here like a pop-up will appear again, asking which component to be added here. So I will search for the search component. I have selected it. I'm going to add this component, giving the simple component settings like the title I've given search marketing campaigns. I have made this visible on the page and I have saved this component settings. And now in the marketing campaign page, in the layout, you could see there is now two components added. One is creation and the other one is search marketing campaigns, right? So let's move ahead with the process. So in the search component, for the first time, we are going to see the three tabs, which is filter, functionality, and output. So it is going to ask us, on when you are adding the search component, how you want to filter the entities based on the definition or some property or some relation or some selection. So I want all the entities to be displayed by this component, which has been created with marketing campaign. So in the filter type, I have selected definition, and this was the one which we have created, the custom one. So I've selected marketing campaign here, and then I have saved this. So once I have saved this, you could see the marketing campaign has been set there. So in backend, the search API by Sitecore Content Hub is going to like resolve this based on the filters that we choose from here. So since I have chosen marketing campaign, so it is going to fetch all the entities that has been created using this definition, and it will display on the page where you have added the search component. Now, in the functionality tab, if you see, there are like many options available, right, for the search to be happen on your page. So I have enabled few of them like the full text search, the facets, query builder, sorting, paging, and the selection, and one added refresh button. So as much like we are going to enable the toggle, the more tabs you would see being keep adding in the search component, where we can add our configurations as per our need. So now let's go to the facets. So in the facets, you have seen like I have added few properties, like user can search the entities based on some campaign name, start date or the end date or the location, or if the campaign status is active or not. So the rest tabs are very simple. I have kept, what as it is. I have not changed something in the pagination or the selection and in the sorting. So we will go directly to the output tab to understand how we want to display all the entities in the page. So in here, like we have some options how we want our entities to be displayed on the page. I have selected the table one. So I have enabled this, and also there is a very small toggle over here which is asking, if we want to show the table header also for the properties. So I have enabled like I want to show the table header also. And in the template, I have chosen this template. So similarly, it's going us to display the entities in this structure or manner on the page. And in the next step, what I did is, it is going to ask us the fields, which fields basically you want to show on the page using this component. So I have added all of them, like the campaign name, start date, end date, marketing assets, and the campaign status active. And once these fields have been added, for understanding the operation also, I have added one just operation, which is provided by the Sitecore Content Hub. So I have added delete option. So user can also, once they create any entity, they can also have an option to delete the created entities as well. So I've added this option also. And once I have given all of this information on the component, I'm going to save and close this information as well. And once like you will go back on your page and you will refresh your page, you could see the search component is fetching all the entities. We have seen like in the entities there were 16 created, right? And the one we were using for example, so this could also be seen on the page as the first one created. And there is an option for deleting this entity also, which will use the Sitecore Content Hub functionality for deleting, or the pop-up or the custom text would what you will see once like you will click on this. And in here we have some filters as well. Like in the facets, I have chosen this campaign name, start date, end date, location, and if campaign status is active, to short like for my search, to make it more specific based on my searches. And using the advanced, you can pass like the queries as well, right? Now let's understand, if we have some um a requirement where we want to extend the schema of existing definition, and how these definition are associated with the other definition. So I'm going to discuss all of this, which I have outlined in this process. So again, like we have to go to the manage page. There I will search for the schema and for my definition. And for our this use case, we have already added one relationship, and then we will see like what that relationship is doing, and how the cardinality like affect your associated definition, and understanding this relation in better way. So in here, once like you go on the schema page and search for your definition marketing campaign, in core details member group we have this relation marketing asset. So marketing campaign is now parent of M asset. So like if you will go on edit this relation, I can show you like what's the role of it. Its marketing campaign is parent of M asset. The label I have given simple marketing asset, and it is associated with definition M dot asset, which could be any asset, right? Which is sitting in your system. And other relation I have given many to many, which means many marketing campaign entities can be linked with many M dot asset entities. So let's understand with the JSON, right? So I'm going back again to the entities to show you the structure. And in entities, I'm going to filter marketing campaign for definition. And once I have done this, it is going to show me the all the entities created from marketing campaign. I'm going ahead with checking the disk details. So let's say there is a campaign test XYZ, right? And there is one asset associated with it. So I'm going to open this into the JSON. So here this entity ID, like if you will pass into the API entities and this entity ID, you would see these properties, right? Which has the campaign name, start date. These are simple properties, but relation could not be seen because as we discussed, this is parent of M asset. So that's why it will not come over here. So if I will go back again in the core details in marketing asset, you could see this one asset being tagged to it. So if you will click on it, right, and if you will similarly open the JSON of it, you could see this relation is now associated with the M asset. So now here in the marketing asset, you could understand, okay, this has some you know asset. This asset is being linked to some marketing campaign, and like once you will click on it, you could see this entity ID is there, which is of some marketing asset, of some marketing campaign. So like once you will click on it, again it will show you which marketing campaign is associated with that asset which I have shown earlier, right? So this is how this relations impacted. And now further we will understand if we have such relation, because when we have such relation, search component directly fetches all the information that is available at the first level. So when we have such relationship which is not directly available in the entity, so how could we fetch such data? We use the external components, and furthermore, Shrikant will explain the process how we can achieve this.
Yeah,
Over to
Divya.
you, Shrikant.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so for that session. So as we discussed, correct, like what whenever we are using the out of box component, like in our scenario, we have used the search component. So we can display only those data, okay, which are directly related to that asset, m.asset entity only. Okay. So in our case, like we have created new custom definitions. So we are not having any relation, correct? Like we cannot find until unless we don't define a relationship, we cannot go and check, okay, which assets have been used in a particular campaign or not, something like that. And if you, Divya, can you go back a little bit? If you show that API where the relation is coming empty. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you see, correct, we have created our custom definitions. We have created our entities from the custom definitions, and you can see as this entities is not having any relation with the assets or something like that. Okay, but in our case, we need something in our table where we can show this is the campaign, this is the campaign, and these are the assets which is associated with that campaign. So somewhere we have to create a relationship, correct? So ideally, if you see here, there is nothing in relations. So by out of box component, we cannot create it, correct? Like we cannot use it. So in such scenario, as Divya explained, we need a external component to implement the same. So Divya, can you go up? Yeah, yeah. So as this slide said, correct? If there is any indirect relationships, okay, which is not directly readily available to us. So in that those scenarios, we have to use external component because external component give us that flexibility. Like we can consume multiple content of APIs in the backend, and we can show our own data whatever is required. So in our scenario, if we want to show the data, like if a campaign is there and what assets have been added to that campaign, so we can use external component. So to achieve this thing, we need to create an external component, which is nothing but a React component. Okay, then we need to build that component, and then we have to add that component wherever, as Divya show, correct, on marketing campaign page, we have added that creation component and search component. Similarly, we have to add this custom component. Okay, then in the custom component front end logic, we have to write the logic to display as the control is at our end. Then we have to we have to, like, this is nothing but Divya, she has given the blog link what she has created for the same scenario use case, in the more detailed step. Okay, so mostly our focus will be creating the external component and adding it in the content hub. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So you can see in the screen, just navigate to the marketing page component. First of all, like we will disable, like if you see the search marketing campaign component, correct? There is a cross symbol in front of an I symbol. So this means like we have disabled that component, and in the backend we are using our own custom external component to achieve the same functionality. Uh, to create this external component, how we can do it? So we have given some blog reference link. Okay, how you can set up your front end application. Okay, what you need to do and how you can add, if you can see here, like an external component, once you add it, once you click on that I symbol or double tap on that particular component, this page will open where you can export your JS bundle, like either from the localhost path. Okay, so this should be an HTTPS, which should be like readily accessible from Google, okay, from the browser. Or either what you can do, whatever the minified version you have created, okay, you can just upload it to the portal asset. We are having one functionality in manage page, that is portal asset. So you can upload your JS file directly there, and you can just when you are having that asset in the portal asset page, you just need to check the from asset checkbox, radio button, and you can just export it. Okay, can you go Divya to the next slide, please? Yeah. So mostly this is the front end logic what we have written. So what we are doing, this is like, if you can see the first code, like where we are calling the slash API slash entity definition, and which kind of definition you want to use it. Okay. So what this is one of the content of APIs only, the backend API, which we are directly consuming. Okay, we are asking that API to provide the entities which are created from this marketing campaign definition. Okay, and we are passing some order like how many entities you want to take it, or sort, or we are passing the other part like sort, and what culture, like what kind of, like if you are you can create multiple version of that entities. So which culture language you want. Okay, so this will bring the data. So what we are doing after bringing this data, we are using the use state hook from the React component. Then from this return data, okay, we are just filtering out all the campaign IDs. This is required, like, see, as Divya showed, like even though you have created an custom entity definition, okay, but there is nothing, no direct relationship with the assets, correct? Like what is added. So in those scenario, what is the logic we have implemented it? Like we will be taking all this campaign ID, okay, and what we will do, as soon as you associate a custom definition to the m.asset, like what Divya showed, correct? Like marketing campaign is the parent of your m.asset entity. So here we have created that relationship, that field. As soon as we have created that relationship is created. Okay. So Sitecore Content Hub in backend is storing some relationship to us. So to check, to identify, okay, to identify the relationship, you have to go to the m.s, like the actual asset. Okay, what is associated. Divya, if you have that, can you go back to the previous slide where the parents we have shown in the API response? Yeah. So you can see whatever asset which is associated. If you go there, correct, we have in that asset level, we are in the entities created from the m.asset type. Okay, we will be getting the relations like marketing assets. So if you click on this thing, can you go to the next slide? You will be getting like that particular asset is associated with which kind of custom definitions. Okay, the entity is created from the custom definition. So you will get all the list. For example, you are having one campaign, okay, which is having multiple assets associated with that thing. Okay, and a single asset can be also associated with multiple campaigns. That is why we have given that relationship many to many. Correct. So in that scenarios, if you are checking one of the assets, okay, if you are checking one of the assets, and if you see this relationship, so whatever asset is having that custom definition as a parent, basically, so it will list on all the things, and it will have that asset like the campaign, like the ID of that particular custom definition. So what we are doing, we are taking the campaign IDs from the custom definition, and we are navigating all the assets. And from this parent property, we are just checking which ID is there. Okay, as soon as that ID is mentioned, like for example, in our case 58902. This is the ID of your custom definition entities, whatever you have created. Okay, whatever entities you have created from the custom definition, this is the ID. And if you go, and this we are getting from the actual asset entity, not from the custom definition entity. And we are already having that ID. We are just checking, and what we are doing, we are creating a basically we are comparing the logic to check the ID, and whatever is that in the front end React level, we are storing it in our like whatever HTML format which we want to show. Yeah, can you go to the next code? Yeah. So yeah, so you can see here we are doing the same thing. Okay, like what we are doing, we are getting all like as soon as you are fetching all the. Divya, can you go back to the previous slide, please, and scroll down a little bit? Yeah. Can you scroll down?
This is it.
Okay, so you can see 1 minute. Yeah. So yeah, you can see as we have stored the campaign ID, what we are doing again, we are calling the content hub API. Okay, to fetch all the entities which is created from this m.asset definitions. Okay, so as soon as we will get it, and similarly we in the parent property, okay, in the relationship field what we have created, okay, in the parent property we will get all the custom definitions entities which already available to us. Okay, so similarly you are just checking whether this campaign IDs is including that campaign ID, particularly the ID, and then you can create your own custom object which later you can use it for creating your HTML, what we can show in your actual content hub page. So similarly, we are having three object property like ID, what will be the file name, okay, and what will be preview URL. You can create the detail page URL also, that is fine. That option is already that also you can do it. But yeah, this as we are doing the code backend code is in our hand. So the we are having the control what we have to do it. Okay. So similarly, can you go up to the actual? See, so in the out of box component, when we were having, correct, we were not having this last column marketing assets, correct, because as it was having like a as there was no direct relationship, out of box component cannot help you. So in this scenario, same thing what we have done with the help of external component, we were able to fetch the data. Okay, like test campaign, and what along with the test campaign, what kind of assets are already associated with it. Okay, so this is like the logic can be different for everyone, but this is one of the way which you can achieve, like what out of box Sitecore Content Hub component doesn't provide us, we can achieve it through external component. And literally speaking, like external components are widely used in Sitecore Content Hub. Okay, so it is very good thing, like if anyone is trying to learn Content Hub, they should focus on external component. Okay. Divya, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So for any campaigns, you can just we are providing a friendly GUI for our marketing team or whoever are managing this custom definitions, so they can easily click on it to get the preview URL. Okay, to check the actual assets or images. So I think we are done with the from our side. Okay, so these are some of the blocks for the exact use case. Divya, she has written some blocks on this thing, like how you can create new definitions, like how you can create you can display all those things. So you can refer those things. And for how to set up your front end application also, you can refer this Sitecore for you blogspot. Okay, here I have given all the things like how can create your own front end application to push the external component to content hub. Okay, so these are some references. Can you go to next slide again? I think we are done there. Okay. I think we are done from our side. So I'm already seeing few questions on it. So let me tell you. Okay. So the first question, it was like around the Sitecore Content Hub developer certification thing. So I think I've already given the thing, like Sitecore Content Hub is little bit difficult and tricky. Okay, as compared to other Sitecore exam. So whoever is taking it, focus on Sitecore learning thing, the course from Sitecore learning, and read the Sitecore documentation part. Okay, it's very important. Mostly like in our organization, whoever has passed, correct. So we were having some internal programs which they have created some use cases around all those things. Okay, you have to implement it, then only your concept will be clear. So if you are having a project, then it is very good, like you can easily pass it. But if you are not, then read the Sitecore documentation. Okay, it's very important. Second question is, I think, asked by Yamini. Okay, so it is like relation to the M asset with new entity, correct? So yeah, so see, mostly let me tell you in terms of in Sitecore what we are having, correct? So consider like we are having one blog pages, okay? We are having some blog pages, so it will be having some template. So how we can even though we are creating the item from those templates, okay? We have created the item. Just imagine like how we will if I want to show that blog pages in our home item, so there should be some relation, correct? Until unless there is no relation, we cannot show those things. So it can be either through data source or either through what we say from query. You can write a query or something, but there will be some relation. So in content hub, mostly uh, everything M asset is, you can say it's one of the major thing, like because we are uploading YouTube videos, we are uploading images, we are uploading any digital asset. Okay, so at the end, this M dot asset is very important. So if we
Sorry to
want to
cut you,
show,
Shrikant. Sorry to cut you off. My question is that more around like how did we add the parent as like this new entity as a parent to the m dot asset? Because generally I understand we'll make a like it'll be like child process or something like which is already I thought m dot asset is the highest hierarchy in the content hub one, but we are making a parent for this one, right? The new entity. So how did we make this relation between these two? That was the question.
okay,
Not okay.
yes. So if you are telling correct, see in content hub, there are two types of relationship is there. Okay, one is like your hierarchical level relationship where you are mentioning like a parent or child. For example,
Yes.
if I will give you m dot asset is there and there is m dot file, correct? So in that scenario, m dot file is smaller part of m dot asset. So we can consider that m dot asset is a parent, correct? But there are
Yes.
multiple relationship also which you define, which are descriptional, that is not following the hierarchical thing like parents or children. Okay. So in those scenarios also, like whenever you will create also, if you have that thing where it is, as soon as like you create that field, you will automatically get like this will come as parent. If you have that screenshot, if you go back, then we add that field, marketing assets field.
What you want me to share? Could you repeat?
We are having that marketing assets field, correct? When you have created that field, so there it automatically comes like m dot marketing campaign is the parent of m dot asset.
Uh, okay, so you want me to go to the instance or in this?
Slide. If you have that slide,
Okay, okay. I'm sharing my screen again.
1 minute. No, I think we are not added.
Are you?
So, Yamini, what we will do, see, whenever we are adding this field, correct, marketing asset, whenever we are adding the new member. So, whenever like you are selecting like which to which relation you are going to associate with it, automatically that part will come as the parent. Like I will share you the screenshot. Okay, by like we will create a new field in the same like PPT. We will share it. Okay, and
Okay.
when you will check the same thing in the m dot asset definition, correct? You will see that m dot asset is a child of marketing campaign.
Yes, yes, that I've seen. Like M.SL is generally a child, like the child one.
Yeah.
But this is what I didn't understand because it's a new entity and we are creating it as a parent of the already existing and defined by content of one. So that's why I had a query around.
But it is
Basically,
associated
see,
with the M asset. That's why it is a parent of M asset. So it will be not directly linked to it. So when you add any relation in any, in any custom definition, or even in the, if you want to extend any existing definition as well. So if you will associate with it any definition, it is automatically going to be the parent of that definition which you are going to associate with it. So marketing asset relation we have associated with the M dot asset. So that's why this relation will automatically
Okay.
become the parent of M asset. So
Okay, it is
yeah.
automatically coming up, but we are not defining it as hierarchical one, like whether this is the topmost hierarchy or
Yeah.
this is the bottommost. Okay, got it. Clear now.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So that's why, like, see, when I was reading this thing, that's why I came to know, like, one is like we are having two types of relationship you can build. Okay, if you in the m dot asset, if you go correct, there is a type called m dot asset type. Okay, where we tell like
Yes,
asset
yes.
type is a parent of m dot asset. So that also, if you will go, that is a descriptional kind. Like there we are not having any hierarchy. But if you consider the m dot file entity definition, there you will see like the parent and children property. Okay,
Yes, yes. Understand now. Thank you. Clear.
yeah. Uh, One more question is that Amit, yeah, from Amit. So Amit, like, see, ideally we revolve around the m dot asset entity only, like whenever we are uploading anything. Okay, so that's why like we are defining the relationship, but it is not compulsory to have that relationship. Okay, like you can, as we have seen, correct, we have created the definition, so you can consume it. But in our scenario, we have added or associated with that m dot asset thing to actually show that particular relation directly in the asset itself only. Okay. So I don't think so. Like it is compulsory. Like every custom entity should have a relation with the m dot asset property. Uh, Amit, okay. Yeah. So any question is there? You can just ping us also. See, this is
One more,
something new
one
for us
last
also.
question is there. Sorry to interrupt. One last question is there by Sumit. He's asking where Content Hub is storing the relations in Content Hub.
I think Divya
There are some
shared some.
relationship. Yeah.
It is
So they
something
are
like
stored
associate
in the
definition.
associated
Okay.
definition.
Yeah, Divya, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that it will store in the associated definition, like the relation we created marketing assets. So that relation we could see in the MSet because it is associated to the definition that we have chosen. And the actual data will also be seen from there only. Like if you go to any asset and you will find that relation, and once like you will open it, you could see to which this asset is linked to which marketing campaign. So the actual data can be seen on the that asset only.
Okay,
Is
thank
there
you.
any?
Any other questions, guys?
Okay.
Thank you. That was a lot of explanation. And I think any other questions, guys, because this is the last time you can ask the speaker. So, okay. If not,
Like
then we are
what we
good to
have
go.
identified this relationship, like see, we are having that properties which are straightforward. Okay, but this relationship, it is always confusing. If you are not aware of, like if you see sometime if you go and see m dot file thing, you will always find it is showing parent and children property. Okay, in the asset level, if the m dot asset is the parent, you will get children, and that will refer to your definition like a m dot file. But similarly, there are multiple definitions like your life cycle one. I can remember where we are defining whether it's in creation state or it is an approved state. So that also like it's a description only, straightforward. There we are not having any hierarchy. Like till the time what we have identified. But any new thing is there, just let us know. So we can also try in the sandbox.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the information. It was really very insightful session, and I did learn new things today. So I think, yeah, thank you so much, guys. And we are at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you
everyone.
everyone. Thank you
Thank you so
everyone for
much.
joining the session. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.